Okay, so that's good. That's good. I mean, if there's anyone that has anything to say, I'm going to wrap up now. Yeah, because we've been in here for an hour and a half now. Yeah, going to wrap up. So if there's anyone that has anything to say, any questions, anything that they want that has been unanswered that they want us to just touch on for a few minutes, anything? Femi, are you okay with so far? Is there anything you want us to touch on? What's the one thing? What's if I say to you, Femi? What's the one thing you take home today that you're gonna make a difference in your approach with all the new emerging? What's the one thing you're gonna take home today?
Right, just to be proactive with regards to you know having to really go self-employed, the ultimate somehow. And
Right.
then if you've got to secure a relatively robust 9 to 5,
Mm.
that would be a spice.
Okay.
And okay,
Okay. Good.
okay.
Okay. We could just about hear you, but that's fine. Yeah. So you would say basically proactive to get involved in and be self-employed. Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Beardum, I know that you came late, but what's the one take home you're taking away today from this? Or is there any questions you have?
Okay. I think it's just a mind blowing and bringing my mind to an alertness that I have to really sit up. The internet thing is just it as what the future is. So I have to find a way to learn all these things.
Right, right,
Otherwise, one will be off the ship.
right, right. And Greg, thank you, man. Greg.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Tony. Thank you so much. And I would say that I've actually been backward with cryptocurrency, right? You know, just when you said, oh, some people, when you talk to them about cryptocurrency, they will run. I am number one of that kind of people. Yeah, because I understand that I don't really understand the whole thing very well. I'm probably going to take a look at it. And one other thing also what I got me thinking is, you know, sometimes people just tend to forget which angle should they continue to train their children on. I remember somebody who became very overwhelmed with what's this one that collapsed now? That has to do with creating pictures and artwork. What is it called? It's also a crypto. Yeah, what is it called again?
Oh, die,
No,
or
no, 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 no. You know, where they sell artworks. You know, they design
oh, non-fungible assets.
non-fungible and
Yeah,
fungible
yeah,
assets,
yeah,
and
yeah.
then until cryptocurrency, until
The non-fungible, yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, so that has collapsed as well. So what
yeah.
makes me scared is, you know, while we are saying the blockchain cannot be, is a mathematics that 21 million mining. The only thing you can mine is only 21 million coins,
Mm,
and then yet there is a new technology coming out, which is uh, quantum computing.
mm, mm,
So quantum computing does not even calculate in zeros and ones. It calculates in multitude put together. So I'm of the opinion that if quantum computing can also demystify the threshold or the foundation on which crypto is also built, maybe something like that may happen on it. So I'm going to really look into that a little bit more and then tend to understand it. And I was going to say something about Joe when Joe talked about fears. What what are the countries? You know, the fear of what the technology itself can do. I also going to talk about the geopolitics. Maybe when we have another conversation, I would like to chime in a little bit more about geopolitics. What is going on between China, the USA, the EU? How the world has been divided according to its geopolitical leanings. You know, you have Asia now. Asia is the richest continent in the world today. You know, America is no longer as relevant as it used to be. Europe is collapsing after the Second World War. They are still not able to recover from it. And being that they are very, very small, you know, all of these things. And Africa has always been at the back end, still being at the back end. Maybe if we tend to have a different conversation similar to this one, I'll probably just share a little bit more about how I feel about it. I know that time is already well spent, but this has been a very fantastic night, a very fantastic evening. Back to
Thank,
you, Tony.
thank
Thank you.
you, thank you, Joe. What about you? Before I round up.
Yeah, I mean, just what Greg was saying, but there are many information coming out stating that Africa is the next Asia. or India. Yeah. Um, and I believe that. I really truly believe that. Um, my takeaway is that, you got to be conscious. We are in, we've been in, you have to understand, it took a long time for the first industrial revolution to take root in society, motor cars, machines, and so forth. But the AI, the technology that we're dealing with, the data, yeah, only start happening in the past 3 years, and it's dominate the whole environment. So imagine in another 3 years' time, and another 2 years, or by the end of this year.
Mm. Mm.
So if you play with the philosophy or the concept of this new technology,
Mm.
then you're going to be at a loss.
Mm.
The other takeaway is there isn't no more 9 to 5 job and career. Hence, being a business, having your own business, and if you're a cleaner, that's my takeaway. If you're a doctor, if you are a business entrepreneur, you have to have a business mind to have financial independence. That's my takeaway from it.
Fantastic, fantastic. I mean, and just on a final note for myself, I think listening to everybody here today is kind of confirmed a lot of my thoughts and also has consolidated a lot of the thoughts. I think just listening to what's happening in Nigeria from Greg and also listening to the education patterns that we're doing, I think it's opened up my eyes more. I think listening to Joe has opened up my eyes in terms of, okay, there's opportunity still. There's still opportunity. Yeah, just listening to everybody on this call, just thinking, look, there's so much this AI, this new emerging technologies, this cyber. There's so much new things that are there for the taking. This has created a whole new ground zero, and also it means that for me, I believe that having your own, being an entrepreneur, as Greg says, rather than a business person, yeah, to have impact first before profit. Yeah. I think that is a big thing. And I think everybody on this call should listen to that very carefully. Being an entrepreneur, look at how can you create solutions with this new technology that's come, new industrial revolution that's come. Yeah. And in terms of our children, just to give some advice, because Greg said, I think Joe says something about how do we, I sit down with my sons and I say to them, listen, this is the direction the shift is going. Yeah. I don't care what degree you're studying right now. Yeah. But you have to start looking at A, B, C, D. It's not about the fancy, it's not about your degree. It's about whether you're going to whether you're going to be relevant after your degree. Yeah. Whether you're going to be, whether you're going to be one of the solution providers. Yeah. And that's the key thing, and I've already tested slightly. Um, as some of you know, I'm heavily into cybersecurity. I'm heavily into AI. Yeah, I'm heavily into decentralized finance. As you can see here, this is a board, and I've tested the model out. Can you imagine? One of the things that I found with $5, yeah, $5 in crypto, yeah, by having a community, building a community on the blockchain, we've turned over thousands and thousands of dollars just with $5. Yeah, do you understand? But what it is people always think you need big money to create big money. But I'm telling you one thing, with this whole ground zero, you can have small money creating big money. Yeah. Do you understand? So, and what I've tested out in Nigeria, because we talked about infrastructure, I say don't rely on Greg knows me from way back, yeah, when I was in Nigeria. he knows that when he first came to my office in Abuja, we had inverter, didn't we? We had we had generator. We had everything to keep the light going. Yeah, even though we weren't internet. I have an office in Nigeria. My IT staff there are the only ones in that office. Yeah, but those IT staffs are writing solutions for my customers in the UK. My customers in the UK are happy. So we're paying in Naira, the staff, but we're earning in pounds. Yeah. That model works for me for a whole 2 years now. Yeah. And the profit margin is good enough. Some people say, your office, there's not much happening in your office. There's a lot happening in my office. Yeah. It doesn't need to be many people. It can be a few people creating the solutions. So my next step to share with everybody on this call. My next step is I am going to the village. I'm going to go to a village. When I say a village, a town. Yeah. I'm going to a town and not a major city, a minor town. And I'm going to create I'm going to create a IT center there. Yeah. And I'm going to feed from the schools in that village, yeah, feed from the university in that town, yeah, and and slowly build a smart office, and then slowly build a smart city. Because why am I going to the village? Why am I going to the town to do it? The reason why is because most people in the city are already corrupted. Their mindsets are already twisted, yeah. But if we can get them from the roots, yeah, then we can build an India again. As Joe says, Africa is the next India, but it's not going to be the India. You cannot create the next India from the cities of Africa. Those guys are hungry in the cities. They're just desperate for money and they're desperate for success. They're desperate to pay their rent. Go to the towns where they haven't been exposed to all the problems and they can live on very little money and create opportunity there. Someone was talking to me, one of my customers was saying to me, Tony, I'm going to give something to my town. I said, what are you giving to the town? He said, I'm going to create light so that they have light, solar panel lights on the streets. I said to him, how does that help your people? He says, oh, they can see. I said, they can see already, but it's dark. Yeah. He said, no, they can see, so then they can create. I said, no, no, no. Let me tell you something. Do you know what's going to happen? I said, they're going to start stealing the lights because they need to feed the family. So those solar panels that you put to to do the street lights, they will steal it, make money, and eat. I said, what you've got to do is create something where they can actually come and generate income from themselves. And then, therefore, they'll appreciate you. He said, ah, no, no, no. But I'm telling you one thing. If Africa is going to be the next India, we have to start from the villages, then the towns, and then the city people can come to the towns and villages to learn their stuff. That's me. Yeah. But basically, I want to have a center of excellence. I want a smart village, a smart town, and then a smart city. That's the order. And then eventually a smart country. We don't need the government. We need to create our own infrastructure. And on this call, I'll just say to you that, one of the things I'll say to you is, look, the future is bright. The future is bright. Whenever new opportunities like this come once in a lifetime. For Joe and I, it's come twice in a lifetime. Yeah. But opportunities like this come once in a lifetime. Opportunities where you now have to create solutions. Joe can remember the day when I used to have my IT company. What did they used to learn, Joe? They used to learn how to create forms, isn't it? How to submit forms. You know those forms that you put your bank forms? We used to do that for fun. And then everybody went out and got big jobs. Am I right, Joe?
Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Some of them are heads of banks now, aren't they? Some of them
yeah.
are
The
heads.
project managers.
Well, one of my guys is the World Bank, whatever, and another one's look. What we started that was when VB, ASP, internet, all that stuff was now being
In the
like moved
beginning.
on. This is another time. This is another chance, and it's the basic things that are going to make money. So we need. So for me, I say every black, every Asian, every minority, every disadvantaged white person, let's start thinking about being creative, innovative, and create solutions for this new thing. So that's it. So thanks for everyone for coming on the call. Yeah. And
Right.
thank you for your contributions. And hopefully we'll have this recording out so that you can listen to it again. Yeah. Sorry for
Thank
the
you,
people
man.
that couldn't get on the call because of the link.
Yeah.
Okay then, guys.
Thank
Thanks.
you very much.
Okay then.
Cheers.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you
Bye-bye.
very much.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.